Hello, today is Friday, February 4th. I had a little off my schedule. It's like 4 days into this month. I have one 31-day month behind me and now I'm getting all loopy. But I really do believe it's been the energy of the new moon in February, the Lunar New Year, along with the energy of the February 2nd portal as well. So I do feel that those energies really I just needed to sit in that energy and just really take my time. So I'm off my schedule, not by much, but just by a few hours on one of the days. So with that said, the February 4th spread in the book is like a Snow White type of spread having to do with like when the movie, I think, premiered or something. I'm not really feeling that reading. So I'm going to go back. I know on the first I did an energy check and I didn't do the reading that was in the book. And so I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it's called the Tarot School's Double-Edged Sword Spread. And so it's about making a tough choice and the clarity and discrimination needed for decision making, right? And that comes with like looking at the suits and the major arcana. So, like the swords, the wands, the earth, all of that. And so we're gonna, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna shuffle these cards and then I'm going to cut the cards. So let me just go and do it. So here's my deck. So I'm gonna cut it. So there's two piles of cards right here. So this is one deck. And so we have these two piles. And then what we're gonna do is, from one pile, I'm gonna pick 5 cards. I'm going to do 5 cards from this color. I'm going to put them side by side and lay them out vertically. And then once they're like that, I'm just going to interpret each row. So they're like there's no specific like positions or questions. Each row is going to read as a multifaceted picture of energies and outcomes. And so you can think about, like, you sort of, as you're going to watch this, think of like 2 scenarios, right? 2 situations. Or if you have one situation, but you're thinking of, should I do it or should I not? Like, you assign what you want each row to represent. And I'm going to just read the message. And so let's see how that goes here. This is the first pile. Sorry, already shuffled. So I'm just going to pull 5 cards. So here's 1, 2. I want enough space, so I'm going to stagger them a little, but it's just for space because I think I'm going to run out of space here. Let's see. Oh no, did that? Gosh. I don't think there's enough space here. Let's see. So here's 1, 2. I mean, there's really no rhyme or reason. You know what? We might even do it this way. Let's do it like this. Okay, so this is the first pile here. From that first pile, I'm going to do 5 over here. They're independent, so I'm going to put this in the middle because we don't want there to be any sort of confusion that they're clarifying each other. They're 2 separate messages. So we'll do like this, and then we're going to do the second pile here. So 1, 2, let's see. Can those see? I mean, I really do like this spread. I've done it. I mean, I do this spread all the time for myself. Okay. So now we're going to clear the cards. Oh, shoot. I don't think you can see that. I didn't plan this one out. I'm telling you, I did 1 month of readings and now I'm just going rogue. Okay, let's see here. Let me see if you can see those. Okay, well, let's just move them up a little bit. Well, just take my word for it. Okay, so now I'm going to read the first set and then read this set, and it'll be a full message, just to sort of, like I said, to reveal just like a very, multifaceted picture of energies and outcomes. So this first pile, and now that I did all of that, I'm going to pick them all up anyway. So we have the 3 of Pentacles, the 6 of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, the Moon, and the King of Cups. Okay, so, this Three of Pentacles is really symbolic of rooted energy that really sparks from the heart, and it's very grounded and it's very foundational. So it's not even foundational, it's like a framework. Like that Three of Pentacles is really the foundation, the framework to like building a happy home, a long career, great relationships. All of that is really symbolic and represented in the Three of Pentacles. And then there's the Six of Cups. Now, a Six of Cups can be like really waxing poetic, being overly like romanticizing your past, very nostalgic, but it's also tied to this, having this Three of Pentacles here and then the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is like something from your childhood, from your past. So as this framework and this foundation is being built, you're definitely thinking about things from your past that you're kind of romanticizing or, waxing poetic, but in a really beautiful way that you want to bring forth. So maybe some traditions or practices that you grew up with, and now as you're starting to build this foundation for yourself and maybe your family or in your work or whatever it is, like if it's like work, you want like the work ethic that you grew up around. If it's, or somebody that when you were growing up, you really liked what they did and you wanted to do that too. Whatever it is that you're building now, that you're laying the groundwork for, you're definitely looking to past memories of things you want to bring into this present. And the Wheel of Fortune really emphasizes that as well, because in the center, in the middle card for these five, this Wheel of Fortune in the middle is this message of being aware of how, things are always, life is cyclical, right? It's, it may feel linear, we go from year 1 to 2 to 3 and we're growing this way, but because we have a mind and we have a brain, we have emotions and feelings, like things are continually rotating. And so we can be really excited and then something can happen. Like it's unexpected. There are things that are unforeseen. And so having that in the center really gives an indication to whatever it is what the message here is, that in your life, there's this moment in the middle of whatever the middle is to however old you are. There's a point where there has been reflection, and that reflection has led you to see what it is that you want to build, how you want to build your life, and all the parts of your life that are going to be in this foundation, this framework. And you've had this moment sort of in the middle of your life. If you're 20, maybe this happened when you were, you can think back on like 5th grade and recall how that shift from elementary school to middle school was so big, and you were going to leave being a little kid behind and you were going to embrace this new adolescent spirit. If you're 30, maybe you're looking back and thinking about when you were, 15, and again, sort of leaving the childhood things behind. But as you start, thinking about high school and moving, along, moving forward, but wanting to hold on to some of those childhood relics and artifacts and practices, and wanting to still have some time with their family. If you're 40, maybe when you were 20, it was really about setting off in college, or your work life and moving out on your own, starting your family and thinking back on what it was that you wanted to continue. What sorts of practices did you have growing up that you wanted to take, with you? If you're 50, when you were 25. So it's really like thinking about this middle card, this Wheel of Fortune, as that moment for you to sort of just assess quickly and realize that the foundations from where you have created your life will continue to, every time, every year we can look back at what our half point is and reassess things. And we want to hold on to some of those things from our childhood, and maybe some things we don't. And that's kind of, the balance of what we're seeing here. Now, the next card is the Moon, and then we have the King of Cups. So that also tells us that as we're sort of going through our life, you know, there are parts, you know, just like the Six of Cups is this, you know, looking back and seeing what we want to hold on to, what we want to bring with us. There's this moon that's also like, maybe there are some things that we want to leave behind or that are just for us. Like they're just in our heart space, in our memory. And they're going to remain ours and they're sacred to us, you know. And in the moonlight, we can, you know, have those moments as we're reflecting on what our foundation is that we're building and what parts of our past we bring with us. We can also take those moments and decide what is really just going to be for us personally, emotionally, mentally, physically, all of that just for us, and not really part of the foundation of what it is that we're now separate from our families or where we grew up or how we grew up and what we're building. While there are things we're bringing, there are things that are just going to be sacred to us, and that relationship to the moon is sacred to each of us. And the moon, you know, is the, you know, the holder of our secrets, of our of those things that, you know, are only visible to us, you know, in the night sky, you know, not in the light of day, and not for others to see. And that's also that checkpoint, you know, in the middle, that, you know, life is a combination, like, you know, like this reading, right, is supposed to be like a very multifaceted picture of energies. And so we have that. And next to the moon card, we have the King of Cups. And so the King of Cups is like that ultimate mastery of our emotions. You know, when we're starting, you know, the message out here with this Three of Pentacles is really like that early on work of laying the foundation for our work, life, you know, all the different personal and professional spheres, and how we're layering them to create the life that we are living, that we want to do, and what parts we're bringing. You know, as we get into this Wheel of Fortune center, we can look to both sides and see how, while we've held on to some traditions and some practices that we want from our childhood, that we want to, you know, have as part of our creation of our own personal, you know, now on our own life, right? There are things that we're holding on to, but really, you know, what's anchoring, it's this, on the one end, it's this desire to continually build and grow your life. And on this other end is this total mastery of the emotion, of the heart space. So you're building from this beautiful space of just total like balance and understanding of your emotions. And this Wheel of Fortune, it really does sort of amplify these two, you know, very grounded earth energy, very heart-centered balance. Like the energies and the emotions are so well balanced that this Wheel of Fortune is really in the middle, and that is that total balance. And those shifts and changes that can ebb and flow are going to be, you know, what you bring forth in terms of family and openness with those emotions, and what you keep just for you, between you and like spirit. And that's part of your emotional mastery that you have been working on and creating this life for yourself. So that is our first message there, if it resonated with you in any particular way. And then we have message number 2. And so in message number 2, we have the Emperor, the Two of Wands, the Six of Wands in the middle, the Nine of Swords, and the 10 of Wands. So very different message. Now this message, right in the center, we have the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands really represents a victory of sorts. Whether it's a victory in work, you know, like you're living your best life in any facet, right? Like any area of your life, there's this win in the center spot. Now, the journey on either end, and these don't have to be fluid in how you're reading it, it's just the full, you know, sort of picture here is going to be on one side, we have the Emperor and the Two of Wands. This is all about knowing what you want to do, being very clear, like in your focus, and not just clear on what it is that your path is, but assertive to a degree that confidence is not lacking, neither is ambition, neither is like you're assertive in your ability to go out and reach for those tangible rewards in life. So if this was, if you're going to be someone that, you set out to do something. If education, you're going to figure, what do you want to do for your career, and you'll map it out, and then you'll just set out, and there's no wavering for you. You will get out there and you will make it happen. If you're ready to buy a home, you're ready, you want to just date and be a free spirit. Cool. Now you want to get married and have a family. Awesome. You want to buy a home. You want to buy multiple homes. You want to save a lot of money. You want to travel. Like any of the things that you can think of, tangible things or goals that you want to set, things you want to achieve, you will do that. There's nothing that, you're not someone that gets like caught up in anything. Like you're very clear in your ambition to the things in life you want to gain, and not in a like narcissist, ego driven way either, just in a very assertive way of knowing that there are options in life for you, but it's really like, good and good, or good and better. You know what I mean? Like it's always like, not always, but the positive is there. And when you set out to achieve something, and the victory is yours. Now, on this other hand, on this other side, I should say, we have the 9 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. Now, the 9 of Swords is this, again, sort of the typical meanings of these cards. It's sleepless nights, anxiousness, nightmares, not being able to sleep. 10 of Wands is burdens, burden, carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Very, almost it's really self-imposed. Both are self-imposed. It's being stuck in your head, overthinking things, not being able to let them go so you can sleep at night. And this 10 of Wands is, I'm just going to keep adding things, maybe not having boundaries and saying no to things. And so now you're carrying too much. Either one, like you can meditate, get out of your head, get out of your own thoughts so you can sleep. You can drop the wands and, walk upright and not have all this weight. So the message I am getting here is that while there's victory for you, and this is the energy that you really embody, you are right, and you're at the cusp, not always, but you're at the cusp of needing to work on this energy. So the message would really be work on keeping your solar plexus, your root chakra, your sacral chakra really clear and aligned, so that your energy flows through and you can really like almost manipulate this energy. So this is energy here, this Emperor and this 2 of Wands, that's a full clear like total alignment of those lower chakras, and that energy then can flow through you freely, and then it's victorious. But these 2 cards here are this is like this balance. This victory card in the middle is really interesting, because I really feel like, I don't know if I can do this, but it would be like a mirror, like this. Like these cards, like mirror them like this, because this is who you are. And then this is not like a warning, but this is that we're human energy, and so we're going to get caught up in our thoughts. We're going to caught up in maybe taking on more than we can because we don't want to say no to something. Like this is sort of inevitable, but the energy is a little weaker and more and fleeing. And so this is the reminder that this is who you are, and you're victorious, like you're winning, and you're always going to be winning when you're in this. Every so often, like the shadow here looming over her while she's trying to sleep, or like the moon that casts a shadow as well, like that energy is going to come up. And so it's your sort of duty, right, as this victorious being that you are, this winning entity that you really do encompass, it's almost your job to remind yourself that, to let that light in, where you have the moon casting a shadow, remember to let the light in, look to your birds. Birds can be really symbolic for you as spirit animals. I mean, there's a lot of animals on here. So definitely this is telling me that you have a spirit animal that you're aware of. So look to that. Let the sun shine through to remind you that you're this Two of Wands Emperor energy, not this 10 of Wands. When you have this sort of this other, this kind of darkness here, she's in red. This is a reminder that if we're not grounded in our root chakra, then our roots are not stable. They're not founded in something. And so then our thoughts can start taking over and really get in our heads. And now we're up all night and we're not sleeping, And so these are like these are symbols. These are the symbols here to remind you that you are this emperor. Look, just like reigning over everybody. I mean, just standing firm, grounded, clear energy, from the crown to the root, just very clear, very in control, very confident, not arrogant, not narcissistic or ego driven, just confident, ambitious, and clear focus, and this Two of Wands, again, look at the sun pouring into you. You have your animal spirits. You have everything you need, like, to live this very abundant, fulfilling life. And you have this Six of Wands, that, this card that symbolizes victory. So this far outweighs these other two cards. But this is that reminder that we're human. And so you're going to have these moments. These thoughts are going to creep in, and that's going to happen. But you, at the end of the day, you are this winning card. And so it's just I think it's just a really good reminder of our energies and how we can work on keeping our chakras clear and aligned, but that they take work. And that we're going to run into scenarios and situations. We could be really tired. We could be, we want to be really helpful. We say yes to too many things, and then we realize it. And so these are just like those reminders that when that happens, remember this Emperor energy that we have, so that we can realign, and clear out our chakras and continue on our victory. And so not to let this fleeing energy ever weigh us down, for us to forget who we truly are. And so that was message number 2. I hope one of those two resonated. And with that, I'll end it, and I will see you tomorrow, February 5th.